If you are looking to relocate to Canada, one of the surest and easiest way in moving is through getting a work permit. And to get a work permit, the LMIA is one of the surest way that you can take advantage of. This program was introduced by the Canadian government somewhere in 2022, 2023, and the policy is supposed to be in effect to 2025. However, there have been some changes that were announced recently by the Minister of Employment and Social Development. And this is going to impact the way that people get access to LMIA. So if you are interested in relocating to Canada, I would encourage you to stick to the end of this video. And I'm going to bring you all the latest updates and all the things that you need to know in order to facilitate your immigration or relocation to Canada. Stay tuned. Welcome back. My name is Apia and this is Jenny with the Interest. If this is your first time watching me or watching us, I would encourage you to please go ahead and give us a subscribe, follow us, and let's stay interactive. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the temporary workforce solutions roadmap, which led to the introduction of the LMIA, has seen some changes over the years. And for those of you that are not familiar with LMIA, the LMIA simply stands for Labor Market Impact Assessment. And what the LMIA does is that it offers employers who are in Canada the opportunity to be able to recruit temporary foreign residents, workers from outside Canada. So regardless of wherever you are located, whether you're in Ghana, you are in Kenya, you are in Nigeria, Uganda, any part of Asia, whichever part of the world that you are located, you can have the opportunity to move to Canada through this LMIA process. And also, for people that have visitors visas, when they do arrive in Canada and they get an LMIA employment offer, they are able to make an adjustment or switch from their visitors visa to a work permit. And through that, you can also get access to your permanent residency. But these changes that have been announced is definitely going to impact the way that people get access to LMIA. And the employment minister, Honorable Randy Bosnat, announced this on March 21st, and all these changes are going to take effect on May 1st, 2024. So take note. So the change number one is that the new labor impact assessment will now be valid for 6 months instead of 12 months to ensure or reflect the accurate labor market needs. So before, employers needed to apply for the LMIA and it was valid for 12 months. So within this 12-month period, they are able to recruit somebody and that person have 12 months to be able to process their work permit and also their visas. But now it has been reduced. So meaning if you have an LMIA effective May 1st, 2024, you would have 6 months to work on your work permit as well as be able to relocate to Canada. After 6 months, you would need to apply for a new one. So if you are hoping to get an LMIA beginning May 1st, 2024, know that once you get the employment offer or the employment letter, that LMIA will only be valid for 6 months. And the second change, which was announced, that some people are wondering, is this a good, change or is a bad change? Because the first change, as I mentioned, it is not something which is negative, right? From 12 months to 6 months. So all you need to do is that you, move as fast as possible. But the second change is that all employers that were captured under the temporary workforce roadmap for 2022, now they are reducing the LMIA hiring rate from 30% to 20%. So all that this means is that if in the past they were allowed to hire 100, now it has been reduced or slashed by 30%. So meaning their entire workforce can only include 20% of LMIA eligible employers, right? There are, however, some exceptions, and those employers that are located, or those employers that are captured under healthcare workers, as well as those in the construction, these employers are exempted. So meaning they can continue to hire as high as 30%. All other employers that were captured under the temporary workforce, roadmap for 2022, including those in the manufacturing, those in the wood product manufacturing, furniture and related product manufacturing, accommodation, food services, um, you know, will still need to ensure that they are hiring from 30% to 20%. But as I mentioned earlier on, those within the construction, hospitals, nursing, residential care facilities, all these people are exempted. So you need to be targeting employment opportunities that can be found within any of these sectors. And the third change that was announced by the employment minister is that before employers can apply for the LMI, right? So you as an employee, you don't technically apply or pay for the LMI. So the labor market impact assessment is a document that is applied by the employer through the federal government, right? The ESDC. And once they apply, they will need to prove that these jobs, no Canadian citizen or no Canadian permanent resident is interested or is eligible. That is why they need to list their job in the Job Bank Canada website. That way, if they list it for 30 days, they'll be able to use it as proof. But now, from May 1st, 2024, it is expected that before employers apply for the LMIA through the federal government, they need to explore every other option, including asylum seekers in Canada that have valid work permit. So this is also a good news, even though it might be bad news for those that are located outside of Canada. But what it means is that if you are an asylum seeker in Canada, because for some reasons you are not able to live a peaceful and joyful life in your home country, and you've moved to Canada and have sought asylum, and you have been given that asylum and have a valid work permit, then you would have the opportunity to be considered for an LMIA eligible job before employers need to state that there is no Canadian citizen or no Canadian permanent resident who is interested. Therefore, they are going to apply for the LMIA. So now, before they do apply, they need to consider all these three options: citizens, permanent residents, and asylum seekers. So, guys, take note of this third change. And in the face of all these changes, the federal government of Canada are continue to ensure and monitor this temporary foreign work, solutions roadmap program. And the employment minister stated that they will continue to monitor the policy to ensure that anyone that comes into the country with an LMIA will have their rights protected, because they know that when foreigners or immigrants come in, there is a possibility that some employers might take advantage of them. So they are continuing to monitor the policy and program to ensure that anyone that comes into work under the LMIA program will have their rights protected, and they are not going to be shortchanged by any employer. And that leads to the big news that they talked about, stating that effective January 2024, all employers must ensure that they review the wages of temporary foreign workers or those under the LMIA to reflect the current economic trends in Canada. If you are not aware, inflation is everywhere, not just in Ghana, Nigeria, and Africa, but it's everywhere. In Canada, the United States, there is inflation. So now, the cost of living keeps on rising. The cost of accommodation, the cost of grocery, the cost of transportation, everything keeps on rising. So what the employment minister is saying is that review the wages and ensure that the salaries and wages that are given to employees under the LMIA program reflect the current changes. And what this always means is that whenever there is a review of wages, it leads to an increase or better wages for workers. So it is good news if you are looking for an LMIA eligible job. Know that effective May 1st, 2024, there is going to be an increase in your wage once you get the job offer or you get the job employment. All right, guys. So all these changes were captured by on the ircc website, and they did give a quote from both the employment minister and the immigration minister of Canada, and I would like to go ahead and read it out so that you are aware of why these changes have been made and what it is that you need to expect. So the employment minister said that today we announce our intention to reduce Canada's reliance on temporary foreign workers and encourage employers to find the talent they need right here at home. The time limited measures we introduced in 2022 were necessary as our labor market was facing unprecedented conditions. But now, as times change, we must ensure our temporary foreign worker program reflects our current needs. And this did not end there. The IRCC also captured a quote from the immigration minister, Mark Miller. And they said, our labor market needs are tightening. So should our policies. Today's announcement prioritizes our country's needs to have enough construction workers to build houses, early childhood educators to teach our kids, and healthcare workers to treat patients. As we gradually reduce our reliance on temporary foreign workers, we continue to help employers fill job vacancies while supporting Canadian workers. So pretty much what these two code means is that times have changed and changes needs to be implemented in the immigration policies to reflect the current trends. So based on what the immigration minister stated, if you are in the construction sector, if you are an early childhood educator, or if you are a healthcare worker who are treating patients, then this is your best time to relocate to Canada. Don't allow this opportunity to pass, because with the passage of time, as the day goes in, days goes out, they keep on making changes. So now it has been reduced to only three: construction workers, early childhood educators, and health care workers. So they are prioritizing these three sectors. So if you have qualification in these three sectors, I will encourage you to stick with us here. And on our next video, I'm going to show you the things that you can do to increase your chances of securing an LMIA approved job. And until we come your way again next time, stay blessed.